Guests on Keel appear via the Jack Spring Electric Keel Newsmaker hotline, the latest of those. Shreveport City Councilman, Council Chairman Mr. James Flurry.
Oh.
Hey, Mr. James. Welcome back to
Good
Keel.
morning.
How you
Good
doing
morning.
today?
All right, man.
Had you ever in all your years, if I were my nanny, if I were my grandmother, I'd say, Mr. James, have you ever seen anything like that in all your born days?
Well, it was a robust. It got a little heated there, and never seen nothing like that, but hopefully we won't see it again.
You walked out. You walked out with Mr. Butcher, Mr. Nicholson. Tell me why that happened.
Well, I was losing control of the meeting. As you saw, I was gaveling. Tempers were getting way overheated. I didn't think I could call for a 5-minute recess. It might be some objection. So we needed time to go back and get everybody calmed down. And it was just I was losing control of the meeting, and I wasn't about to be accused of that. So
was that walkout planned?
Was
that walkout planned ahead of time?
No, it was getting. No, it was not. And but the thing about it was, we were getting fired upon, and I couldn't control it. I was losing as chairman, and I try to be fair to everybody. I was elected on 6-0 vote. And I promised to be fair and impartial. And so the best thing to do is get everybody together. Let's go calm down and take a deep breath. And Councilwoman Fuller came back and gave us a pep talk as to how we ought to be, moving forward. And so the vice chair gave some good advice. So we took a deep breath, got a glass of water, and regroup.
So
that's
Mr.
what
James,
it was
who
about.
spoke up first? Who said, let's go? Who was the first one to say?
I did. I said, let's go. Go calm down. And that's those two, I knew I could get them to go with me. And so we went back to the back room and shut the door and got a sip of water and calmed down.
The $1 million question today, Mr. Flurry, is where was Councilman Green? Was there a family emergency? Did he not want to vote for Whitehorn? What have you been told?
I hadn't been told. And I'm sorry he wasn't there, but I'm sure he had a very legitimate reason not to be there, and because he's very faithful about being first at the council meetings, and I would not have say anything disparaging about Councilman Green. I'm sure he might have had a church member that was in a crisis, and he felt that he had to be there with them. So I don't know where he was, but I'm sure he'll be returning in 2 weeks, and I don't know where he was, but I would never ask. I assumed it was a very important cause that him not to be there because he's very faithful about being at the council.
Mr. James, at the end of the day, so to speak, this morning we are as far as the confirmation of Henry Whitehorn and or the confirmation of Shericka Fields Jones. We're in exactly the same place we were yesterday morning this time. Literally the meeting, however, 3 hours yesterday, pertaining to those two topics, nothing really got done, did it?
No, but we did. Democracy took its place. We had a vote. And everything was done properly and was a 3-3 tie, which meant that he wasn't confirmed. That doesn't keep the mayor from coming back and presenting it again when Councilman Green's there. But yesterday, democracy prevailed. We had a vote. Someone from
the prevailing side doesn't have to bring this back up. This is not like an ordinance, correct? This can come up if the mayor wants to put it on the agenda.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
And you're anticipating that happening at the very next meeting?
Oh, well, that's what the mayor said.
What about Mr. Green? What about Mr. Green's vote? You know, you've heard the scuttlebutt in town that he was possibly not a vote for Mr. Whitehorn. Is that inaccurate?
I don't really. I haven't personally just asked Councilman Green how he's going to vote, and I didn't. I just didn't feel that was something I wanted to do. I like to be fair and impartial as the chairman. And so however it falls is the way it's going to fall. Life will go on.
Mr. James, I had said yesterday a couple of times, in fact, that I said, I'm not sure that any of this is really about Henry Whitehorn. That the way I phrased it was Henry Whitehorn is just the rope in a tug-of-war between the mayor and the council. Am I way off the mark there?
I think you are. Look, Henry Whitehorn is a very honorable man. Has a great record in the police department. He has a great background. But let me tell you, where I conflicted on this is the fact that the CAO is a person who has to roll up their sleeves, stay there till 10 o'clock at night sometimes, and has to make the train run on time. And that's where I don't think he has the experience. He's a great, honorable man, but I don't think that's the CAO we've always had. Now, they keep talking about Ryan Crawford was the chief, but Ryan's worked under Cedric Glover as the deputy CAO. So he had a good knowledge of. He even ran over and ran the water department. If people forget that, he was put over there to help run the water department. So he had a vast knowledge. Dale Sidley was a former practicing attorney and worked under Jim McCreary, Congressman, chief of staff. He knew how to supervise people and to make the train run on time, to deal with problems. The CAO is the problem solver. The department heads go to him. Hey, we got a problem. And he comes up and helps come up with a solution. So it's not, I just don't think that Mr. Whitehorn has the city government experience that we need in a CAO. Great man, very honorable man.
Mr. James, as far as the position of chief financial officer is concerned, and the moving of Ms. Fields Jones from CAO to CFO, what's the council's feeling? What's your feeling about, is there such a thing as CFO? Can the mayor just, I'm going to make a new job?
No, the concept is great. If you go back and see all the problems that we had the 400,000 stolen on fuel cards. We had 8,000 stolen up in other departments. We had 3 backhoes that are stolen. We still hadn't found the third one in the water department. So, no, chief financial officer is a brilliant strategy, and I think it needs to be done. But the problem is I don't want Ms. Jones demoted. And if she has to report to the CAO, that's a demotion.
But is there anything in the city charter that says the CFO? Because I certainly couldn't find it. I mean, I see all this stuff about director of finance.
I don't think it says it that it is or not, or there's not in there. But we put legislation on to create that and such, and so I think that it justifies it right there when we vote to. The mayor presented his legislation and we vote on it. I don't see that it's any problem myself.
Councilman Flurry, where do we go from here? We have horrible, horrible tension among the mayor and some council members. What do you do as the leader? You're the chairman. Do we need to have a little retreat? What happens now?
No retreat. We need to just try to work through this. This is not the first time. When I came down there to train, Cedric and Joe Shine was at it all the time, and they were never able to get streets done. And I hope this is not where we're going with this. I hope that we can reboot. Is that a good term? Mm-hmm. And let's start over. Everybody calm down, take a deep breath, and let's see where we agree. And those things that we don't agree on, well, let's work on those. And you know, this is we pray for wisdom, and that we try to restart, reboot. That's what I'm hoping for.